Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back for another card review. So in this video, I'm going to go through all the mini non-jackpot cards of the upcoming Gurren Lagann series. Right, so they are finally reviewed today, and now we are going to go through these few characters, right, all at once. Right, so starting off with Nia, which is a light human. Okay, so I would say this card is okay. It's not super necessary in any teams out there, right? But let's go through. Light of Hope, CD6. So for one round, Light and Heart possess effect of other attributive runestones. So when there is Simon and Lagann or the fusion form in the team, character attack becomes 0 and adding 2.5 times the deducted attack to each of the above characters. Okay, so small buff, very small buff. Alright, so in my opinion, I feel that they could have done something like Izumi from Fullmetal Alchemist, right? So whereas the effect stays in play unless a certain condition is not met, right? So to make Nia more viable, right? So in this case, if you take a look at Nia in a Simon team, yes, it's good, but it only lasts one round, right? So it's kind of like a bit pathetic in that sense. Okay, but nonetheless, character attack becomes 0, adding 2.5 to the above character, which is pretty much only effective for the Gurren Lagann fusion form, right? So by boosting just Simon, it's a kind of a mini buff, very small buff. Okay, so in my opinion, you can bring Nia in a Simon playstyle, right? But the thing is that there are better cards out there, in my opinion, right? So you want to bring cards like Smilodon, right, which continuously give that 2.5 times multiplier for Gurren Lagann, the fusion form, instead of Nia, for example. And both cards are at CD6, right? So just a thought for you guys to consider. Okay, so moving on to the next card. Alright, so next we're going to talk about Roshu, which is a Earth Human. Okay, so CD8, pretty long CD, right? So what does it do? It pretty much turns your whole board into fixed number of Earth and Heart runestones, right? So if you're playing Gurren as a leader, right, you'll convert into Fire and Light instead, right? So the Fire will replace the Earth, and then Light will replace the Heart in the same fixed position, which is like a plus sign. Right? Those who have seen the gameplay, you have seen that board convert. Right? So in my opinion, CD8 is a very long cooldown. Right? This could have easily been a CD6 or CD7. Okay, so I feel that this is not going to be used very much, unless you really have to force yourself to place these cards in a certain gameplay. For example, Yoko, which runs Gurren playstyle, right? The more Gurren cards, the higher the multiplier, something like that. Then you will bring cards like this, right? So in a normal setting, I don't think this card will be extremely useful, right? So I'm not sure the fixed number would amount up to 15. I don't think so, because 4 times 4, oh, it will be a 16-14. It will be a 16-14 board, right, of respective attribute, right? So you might make use of this card to do a 15-15 Earth Heart Shield, Earth Heart Meta Sphere stage, or a 15-15 Fire Light Meta Sphere stage, right? That is one creative way to bypass that kind of shield, right? But other than that, I don't see Roshu being a very useful card in any situation. Okay, so the next card is going to be a double active skill mini non-jackpot card, right? Kittan and King Kittan. Okay, so active skill number 1 at CD6. Okay, for one round, unlimited movement time without dissolving, right? So this will be based on your whatever spin time that you have. Okay, so number 2, combo count +2 for every Gurren member present in the team. Right, so of course, this one, the more collab members, the better this card's effect. Right, so I would foresee this card being placed in a Yoko team more than a Simon team, right? So Simon team can kind of break pretty high combos really, because you have Kamina that adds 3 roll to your gameplay, right? So Yoko is the one that kind of cannot counter high combo enemies, right? So this Kittan and King Kittan card will be more suited in a Yoko team than a Simon Kamina team. Okay, so you can still use King Kittan, right? But I will see that it won't be very necessary. Okay, so depends on your playstyle, right? So let's take a look at the active skill number 2. Okay, so active skill number 2, which is CD6 as well, so it's pretty much like a mini burst. So this can be activated only when craft is fully charged, so a bit like Megumin, a bit like King of Fighters. So effect number 1, 100% of the craft will be depleted, right? So kind of worse than Megumin and King of Fighter, in fact. Okay, so effect number 2, character attack times 10. So being a small little jackpot, non-jackpot card, I believe the attack stats is not going to be very fantastic, right? So times 10 might be more towards like a times 8 kind of burst, right? But still useful in terms of breaking things like high defense and stuff like that, right? But in any case, we do have Simon that dissolves petrified runes, right? So if the high defense is not due to petrified runes, then maybe you can use Kittan to kind of burst through the defense and stuff like that. Okay, so especially nowadays we do have super high defense enemy skills, for example like the power release version of the Fort Sterling and stuff like that, which is a stronger, a more tanky version of the Gemsa Nightmare Stage shield that we have encountered. Right, so stuff like that, you can use this card to burst through the defense, but other than that, I don't see this card being very useful. And this times 10 burst, usually if you play a Gurren Lagann playstyle, right, usually majority of the damage will be accumulated in that fusion monster, which is Simon and Kamina's fusion mob, right? Whereas you have this mini card at the side doing a times 10 damage, I believe it's not going to be very significant, right? But it might make it, it might contribute to the overall damage output. But other than that, I think it's going to be a very minimally used card, right? Unless you have to put it in a Yoko team, right? Because you have to play Gurren Lagann cards, right? So last but not least, it enters a dying state for 2 rounds. Sucks. Okay, so it's a bit like Gon, a bit like Megumin. So this card will be able to attack for 2 rounds, right? So a big downside for that. Okay, so next we're going to talk about Viral and Enki. So this is a Beast race, which is very surprising, right? So we finally have like a Beast kind of collab card. So Earth Beast, CD8. So this actually enchants your entire board upon activation, and for 1 round you can dodge Human, Machina, and Demon enemy attack once. Okay, so when the dodge is successful, damage dealt on all enemy times 2.5 next round. So I believe this card here is a very niche card, useful but very niche. Okay, so it will appear every now and then for certain stages, and then that's it, right? You won't see this card in a normal basis, right? So I believe with the release of this card, you might see Gurren Lagann collaboration ultimate stage or nightmare stage that will have initial shield or some sort of invisible shield, stuff like that, something that avoids something that kind of prevent you from attacking the enemy first, right? So then you will have to make use of Viral and Enki to kind of counter the skill. Of course, you don't really have to use this card, right? We do have many other counter cards out there, but I believe with the creation of this card, there's a chance that Madhead is going to create such enemy skills for this collaboration, right? So to be able to dodge only 3 of these races, right? So very niche. It's not all it's not all cards, or so other than that, the 2.5 is pretty juicy boost after that. Okay, so you're not gonna see this card very often, but once it comes out, it's gonna be one of the more MVP cards that is required to clear that particular stage. Okay, so last but not least, we have Leeron, which is Water Human, right? CD5, and I believe this is going to be one of the more important cards within the Gurren Lagann series, right? So, number 1, turn column below characters into enchanted runestones, which is a small enchantment. That's fine, right? Usually we can counter things like a enchanted shield, enchanted shield, but it kind of neutralize your board, so there's no enchanted runes on the board and stuff like that. So Leeron will kind of help you enchant one row, so you have some sort of enchantment on your board, like mini situation. Right, number 2, if team only has human and machina, fuel of machina plus 50%. Right, so this kind of they didn't mention only Gurren Lagann series, so actually machinas of other, normal mad hit series actually have an increase of 50% fuel, right? So as what I kind of imagine what my Simon and Kamina gameplay team formation is going to be, I'm going to bring Smilodon, which is going to be placed next to Simon and Kamina's fusion form, right? So Smilodon, a card that is not Gurren Lagann series, is going to take quite long to max the fuel, right? So Leeron here is going to be a great addition to a Simon Kamina playstyle. Alright, so if you want to play it like a multicolor kind of situation, okay, so Leeron will assist Smilodon to get to max fuel faster in a sense. Alright, so number 3 is just a bonus when all machina have 100% fuel full HP recovery. Alright, so you can use this when you encounter the boss stage that have foul play, reduce your HP to 1. You can activate this again to recover HP, right? Or they have like reduce HP to 1 and then recovery minus 90% and stuff like that. So you can use this to recover full HP, no problem. Okay, so last but not least is the most important part, which is leader. If leader is Team Daiguren, restore all crack positions, right? We have the very first crack position bot clear kind of skill, right? So, but unfortunately, you have to use Daiguren team in order to restore the crack positions. So, we probably won't see much of these enemy skills for now, right? So, be prepared for Daiguren ultimate stage to have crack runes again, right? So they will kind of find a way to kind of make more scumbaggy skills, and then you will have to make use of Leeron, right? I'm very sure of that. Okay, so so this is only applies to Daiguren gameplay, right? So next time I'll expect more cards to have these restore crack positions, and by then Madhead is gonna implement more sadistic stages. For example, leader ally crack runes or full board crack runes. I can see it coming, believe me. Okay, so to end off the entire card review for the mini non-jackpots. Okay, so I believe all these small characters are pretty they don't really fit into the playstyle much, right? It is okay to give it a pass as in you draw them, but you don't have to put them into the gameplay of Gurren Lagann, okay? Other than the fact for Yoko, right? So pretty much all this, I feel that all these small little jackpots, they don't really fit into Yoko's playstyle very well. Like, they're just there just to increase the multiplier. So I feel that Yoko's damage output could have been higher if all these mini cards have better active skills, right? That's my very honest opinion. But Yoko herself as a gameplay, as a damage output point of view, is still pretty decent, right? I just feel that they could have done something better for these non-jackpot cards, right? Like what they did with Full Metal Alchemist. They are like, all these mini non-jackpot cards are actually pretty useful, even outside of their collaboration. For example, Izumi, best example, Izumi, right? Very versatile non-jackpot card. Alright, so overall that's going to be my review on all these small cards, right? If you guys enjoy it, do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and if I have missed out anything or you disagree with some stuff that I said, feel free to leave it down in the comments and I will check it out as soon as this video is up. Alright, so that's all. Hope you guys enjoy. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.